Hello guys, it is King Bud here. Welcome to another Napoleon Total War multiplayer battles. It has actually been three weeks, almost 4 weeks since I've actually recorded a video, as per from the last episode of Napoleon Total War for multiplayer. So this, you guys, is a 2v2 on Waterloo, and we have the hill. So obviously we're gonna take advantage of this hill. But I believe I have my usual army of 4 volts, 6th general staff, 2 old guard, 3 young guard, 2 fusiliers of the line, and 2 national guard, 2 chasseurs et cheval, and 2 lancers. And then my ally here has, let's see here, he has 1, 2, 3, looks like 3 units of lights. It's all light. Okay, 4 units of lights, but there's a 3 volts and 1 chasseur. And then looks like militia, some grenadiers et cheval, some lancers, chasseurs et cheval, another grenadier, Dutch grenadiers, kind of a mixed bag army. And then our opponents over here, Russia and the Ottoman. This guy went for a bit of a melee class army, but it is a bit different. So it looks like he has, well, as we all know, the rules of 5 lights, no arty, so he has 5 sedet light infantry, and then the rest of his regular infantry is more sedet infantry. And then it looks like he has 6 janissaries and then a regular general's bodyguard. My opponent has 5 Russian Jaegers, and let's see here. It looks like all of his line contains of musketeers. Yeah, musketeers. He's got a general staff to round out his army. So yeah, there's obviously no choice but to take advantage of this hill. It's just Waterloo. You have to take advantage. At some point I do kind of push down the hills a little bit, but still for the most part we're going to have this hill. But this battle was in May on the 26th, so I have some decent recollection, not too much, but enough to be able to commentate this battle still. So Russia's just gonna keep pushing up to my line. The Ottomans is kind of gonna stay in the same area. As you can see, I'm pretty much covering the whole entire hill anyways, so my allied French player really has nothing else to protect in the area. So it's mainly me taking on 2 armies, but he's gonna do some decent damage himself too with his army. As you can see, my light infantry is decent down the hill on this flank, and then my other 2 lights are a bit higher up on the hill on this flank. And I'm pushing up my young guard over here. My 2 national guard are going to go right here. Then I'm going to send my 2 fusiliers right here. But this is going to be a decent little battle here. I'm going to fast forward because there's really no action going on other than some movement. So I do not remember who pushes up first or who attacks first. But you see my Russian enemy is taking position on this hill, but he's not going to stay there for very long. He has a very, very large line. And very blocky formation line. One of my consistent complaints about Napoleon Total War players and just Total War players in general, they like to put up blocky formations, but as you can see, for me, I have my lines completely spread out on this hill. trying to get as much firepower out of them as possible at that exact moment in time. So you see I'm putting my last 4 remaining guard units over here in reserve on top of the hill. They're going to be decently protected from incoming fire by the hill because all the fire's going to be coming down from here and not going to be going straight up into their line. I see the Russians, but just lights up a little bit. Here to this point they are preparing for an offensive, but there's really not much at the moment still. Grenadiers H Val. Huh. I do not remember exactly what stirred the battle to start. For some reason I'm having the thought it could have been a cav charge. See, I have my couple of my cav units over here. Just as you can see, there's nothing going on. See my young guard standing tall above the bolts, ready to fight. I moved up a couple of his Jaegers. See, he's pushing a decent amount of force over here too, around his Ottoman ally. Here we go. Now I think combat's gonna start here pretty soon because got a cav unit over here ready for a charge and he's moving out a Voltigeur unit. So there's gonna be a light infantry skirmish going on pretty soon. And here we go. Here's a push-up. Push-up of my Russian enemy. Fast forward a bit longer. Okay. Yep. Combat has started. Let's stop fast forwarding. So this is where the first bit of combat is. See, my guy was a bit of an idiot and kind of kept his young guard kind of in a weird facing position in the middle of his Voltigeur unit. And I believe that is my unit of Chasseurs H Val. Yeah. Charge right into his melee unit before they got into my line. Very wise charge there. As you can see, I'm trying to help my ally out with this melee unit, but he's also got a cav unit on it too, but it's going to get mauled down pretty quick by incoming fire too. And my cav unit will go out before it gets to the melee unit. But his Grenadiers H Val are doing fairly well, but he's going to pull him back. And then my light should start opening up here in a second on these Russian infantrymen. And then my young guard shouldn't be too far behind them. Getting some decent amount of kills here too because they're in such blobs. And he's going to do a full-on charge. I forgot about that. He basically just charged up this hill. 4 full units of musketeers. He's just going to charge up this hill. My young guard are going to get a decent amount of kills before they can get to the line. We've already routed a couple of units on the battlefield, and see now this Russian charge here also. Same idea on both flanks, which isn't really going to do too much. See, I'm going to kill some of my young guard here, charge my Chasseurs H Val into the back of them on accident. I sometimes forget about that, but either way, it's going to quickly get into these musketeers, and those musketeers aren't going to do much damage. I did more damage to my young guard than the musketeers did to them, honestly. You see these Russian Jaegers are getting some fire down on me because they have a bit better range. But this is really the only main part of the battlefield going on right now. Most of it's just a skirmish, except for this over here too is also a melee pit. He put a Fusilier of the Line against 3 musketeer units, but their morale is terrible. So I'm moving my Lancer unit over. trying to drag back my Voltigeurs from the front of the battle over here. Nice and loud. As you can see, a melee charge here. I believe this one probably came back from routing, but my Fusiliers are gonna put a nice volley into him. They're gonna rout before they can hit the line. Also gonna do the same thing I just did my Young Guard a little bit there, but I'm gonna continue the charge into the Russian lights and the Ottoman lights. So I'm gonna rout some of those units there.
Our men are running, sir.
Just lost my Chasseurs unit, so there's HOL, but my Lancers are not too far behind. They're gonna do a charge also, killing off another bit of my men at the same time. Made that mistake more than once. But as of right now, a lot of the Russian troops have faltered, but probably will come back later in the battle. See just carnage all across the battlefield right now.
Our men are running, sir.
Honestly, I thought they did fairly well trying to assault our positions. Now I'm moving over a Young Guard to reinforce over here because these guys aren't going to be able to hold them back. I'm probably just going to continue the charge with all these guys. But he's getting a lot of shots on me right now because my lights really weren't hitting these Russian Jaegers, so they've done a lot of damage so far to my line. I don't know why my Russian enemy pretty much continued the charge. That's all he did the whole entire battle. He didn't really try to make other combat. You see, I'm just going to continue the charge into his lines. He's just charging forward, so the Ottoman is the only one that's really going to try to put up opposition later in the battle. As of right now, I've pretty much wasted, not too, I haven't really wasted my units, but a couple of them have been kind of drawn out. And as you can see, this is about to be another huge melee pit about to start.
Our men are running, sir.
These units aren't doing anything. I just lost my Lancer unit. Oh no, I lost my Young Guard. Trying to continue the charge, but my Young Guard here are putting some really good fire down on these Musketeers, quickly doing damage, routing a lot of those units. Pretty much every unit over here is routed. This huge flanking area here is just gone for army-wise. The Ottomans still got a good bit of force left, but his Russian ally hasn't been too much assistance to him in this battle so far. He just wanted to keep charging me for some reason. I don't know why.
Our men are running, sir.
I finally lost my Lancer unit. My Young Guard been able to put some really good supporting fire down. This Russian Jaeger still got a decent amount of men left, but these units are they're done already. And pretty much all these units right here are just gonna get slaughtered as they're trying to run at my line. I mean, look at that. They're just dropping like flies. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Ottoman at this point was saying, why are you this stupid to charge at their main line? Because he was just doing way better strategic charges. You can see he's got all those Janissaries coming to this building. Here comes the massive melee charge I was talking about. And the good thing is I'm out of cav units, so I'm not going to do a huge amount of team killing. This Russian Jaeger's gonna try to do some damage to my line. I'm sure his buddies have already done plenty of that. but the massive Russian horde here is just basically going to get cut down pretty quick due to all my consistent fire of my men. I don't know what these guys are doing. They're just standing there like idiots. As you can see, I'm pushing down my lines off the hill. Just a couple of my units. Basically trying to get rid of some of these remaining units of Russia. Trying to get the flank started on the Ottoman. I think it's pretty much very, very soon where the Russian is going to quit, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he quit in this battle. You see the Russian general just pushes up here. Gonna stand there and take some shots. And basically get obliterated while standing. He's still alive, but his general staff unit's dead. Yeah, he survives. But the Ottoman Janissaries are failing to take this building due to the fact that my ally has Dutch Grenadiers, Old Guard, and a Fusilier, and a militia in the building. So he's put a lot of his force into the building. But these three units back here are going to become very, very pretty much match breakers in the end of this. This poor musketeer unit getting shot in the back. Because this poor general can't seem to notice to take use of his men. So I did lose a couple of units up here. Only one or two, but they were only light infantry units, if I remember correctly. But Russia has literally lost his like a quarter of his army over here. He lost a quarter of it over here. He lost pretty much lost 3/4 of it over here and a quarter of it over there. But at this point, I have taken this part of the battlefield, and now I'm going to start moving up to try to start flanking the Ottoman. Ooh, the frame rate dropped. Why? Is it the mass horde? I don't know. Or is it all the dead bodies? It's probably all the dead bodies. Just get in there. But the Ottoman's gonna put up a decent fight in the end, even though he is starting to get depleted himself. Units. That's all that's left is Ottoman army. Maybe a couple of Russian units spread out the battlefield, but I think actually this is the only Russian unit left, the Russian Jaeger. But these three units are still sitting looking pretty, as I always try to keep the Old Guard. Till I eventually need them in the battle, which is pretty much bound to happen at some point. I'm starting to do damage to the Ottoman now, but he's getting some good fire down on me. And I mean good fire. I mean, this is gonna be, I'm gonna drop a few units in this little skirmish battle here. So obviously he's got range advantage over me. On some area cases. But my guards are still sitting. The Ottoman is probably going to fall back one more time, I believe. But I'm the only one with an army left out of all of this. A lot of the Ottoman units keep on coming back. Dutch grenadiers are falling, chasseurs are falling, fusiliers are falling, and the old guard's gone. You see, I'm just trying to push. I want to get rid of the Ottoman. I want to end this battle. And I mean quickly. In this battle's probably already taken a good chunk of time. But the Ottoman keeps on readjusting. There's going to be a bit of a charge here. Melee charge. But I believe my Fusiliers are going to easily beat the Ottoman Set-it infantry. And also at this point, the battle's coming close to an end. You see on the power meter, it's in our favor. Fast forwarded a little bit. Trying to push up again.
Running, sir.
Lost the Fusilier. Now pushing up a guard unit. Young guard, my old guard moving up too. At this point, all of my army's starting to get a bit lower morale.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And this young
sir.
guard didn't do much damage to this set of infantry. But the Ottoman has captured this building. That young guard ran out of ammo, I think.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
See, the Ottomans is pushing back again. My young guard taking some shots. Now I'm moving my old guard up. Instrumental part of the battle as always. And then this Fusilier line randomly came back out of nowhere. But my young guard got into the set-it infantry. And then these lights are so bunched up that every shot that's been shot by my units are starting to count, actually. And my old guard moving up, take the final shots of the battle. Very, very deadly close-up shots.
Our men are running, sir.
I lost that young guard somehow. But very quickly running up the final Ottoman units of the battle. So you can see once again he's trying to fall back his units a little bit, but it's not going to help him too much. This poor young guard hasn't been able to do much of anything. It just died. It's just died. The Ottoman put up a good fight, but not good enough. Just a final quick charge. Trying to put out some of the other units. Trying to let my old guard quickly finish it.
Our men are running, sir.
But at this point, he's just gonna keep falling back, of course. This is almost as if it's a little bit of kiting, but it's, in a way, I don't know. He's just going back up the hill. You see, he brought his last couple units out of the building. Kind of as a, you've won sort of
Our
thing.
men are running, sir!
But, well, the guns have stopped working, but they're back.
Our men are running, sir!
But the final Ottoman units are being routed from the battlefield. That's all we got left. These 4 units. And with all the guard volleys, they ain't gonna stand for very long. Here goes one.
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
There goes 2. 3. And 4. So, that is the end of this one, you guys. Hope you guys liked it. There will be more to come shortly. If you did like it, well, like it and comment and subscribe if you want more from me soon. As we go to the statistics real quick, my young guard did a lot of damage except for 1 unit, the one that was getting slaughtered that I showed you earlier. My old guard didn't do too hot, but that's because, of course, you know, they're in at the end of the battle like I always put them, so either way. Goodbye, my friends.